community groups. Today we'll discuss the local NAACP organization. We'll talk a little bit about the organization's history and its current work. Founded in 1909, NAACP is the nation's oldest and largest civil rights organization. And locally, we have NAACP continuing the fight for social justice for all Americans. I understand nationally there are 1,000 different units, at least. I'm welcoming Lana Shells, the president of the Norristown branch of the NAACP, and Benita Hedrick, who is the co-chair of the Education Committee of NAACP. And I'm really glad that we can talk today. Lana, tell me a little bit about the Norristown branch of the NAACP and what you're doing kind of globally, and then we'll talk about some specific projects perhaps.
Well, we're about 50 years old, well, a little more than 50 years old in Norristown. And fortunately or unfortunately, some of the issues are still the same.
Yeah.
Right about now, we are dealing with problems that have been in existence for quite some time. Jobs, equity in jobs.
Access.
Access,
Equal
yes ma'am.
access, yeah.
The other part is, of course, equity in treatment of housing, the police department, anywhere you look in the lives of people. We're also about education, letting people know, and when I say education, not just literacy. I mean education on health, where you can access jobs, economic development. You know, all these things are important for a healthy community.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just before we go too far, most people recognize NAACP. The official name is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People.
Yes.
And the issues are those of African American citizens of the United States. And yet I know, globally and locally, you're really about social justice for every citizen.
Everyone. Interestingly enough, in the very beginning, it was a biracial, meaning white and black, that started this organization. Through the years, it dwindled down to just black citizens. But we like to think, here in the Norristown area, we can't much control anybody else but ourselves, that it's for anyone who has been put in harm's way, as you'd say.
Right. Well, I think that advocacy work is so important. Go ahead.
Right, because I wanted to interject that right here in our own Norristown chapter, we have people who are not African American, so it's open to everyone.
Yes.
And even on our own youth chapter, we had an officer who was Caucasian, and we had some Hispanic involved, so we extend ourselves to anyone.
My personal sense of life is that we need to work together, and I know your recent luncheon was really well attended by people of all races, and appreciative of the work that the organization is spearheading.
Absolutely.
It's so important. And I think, advocacy, sometimes we think, well, just, bring these issues to light and talk about equality or equal access. But really, you've named some important things, lifelong learning, through education, being sure that not only you're prepared for work as you leave the, traditional school system, but that throughout life you're reaching out to learn more about health issues. African Americans do have a tendency to be unequally affected by some health issues because of access to services or lack of information.
Of jobs, because if I don't have the
lack
money,
of insurance,
I can't buy decent food.
Right.
And that affects my health.
Right. And all the economic development activities are so important.
Yes.
To make sure that we have jobs that are appropriate for all of us that produce family-sustaining wages.
There you go. That's the word, sustaining.
Yeah.
And I have nothing against McDonald's, but McDonald's does not give you the type of life you need to produce happy children and to live in decent communities.
Right.
It doesn't do that for
Now,
you.
I hear they're doing some management training programs that'll help you go up the career ladder. But yeah, I mean, it's got to be more than minimum wage jobs. That's
Yes.
not keeping people safe
Because
and
we
secure.
have the problem in the United States, not just our area, is the working poor. And that's why education is so important.
And the work that you do in the education
Yes.
committee.
And we have a nice committee for economics that's just trying to look at businesses and having some more diversity.
Right.
And here in Norristown, you know, there's so many different restaurants of diversity
Yes.
that we're, you know,
Yes.
really looking at that. And we're proud to say that we do have an African-American restaurant, I guess, right here on Markley Street, back in business.
Good.
Yes.
Yes.
Good, good, good. In terms of economic development, that's the kind of thing that is really important to work with municipal government, you know, and within the region, not just the municipality of Norristown, but all the different municipal governments, because of, you know, all it takes to bring a business to fruition. It's like, you know, somebody has a great idea, but it takes a little more than that. What kinds of work are you doing, or connections?
Well, basically, we're still working in the hub here. We're trying to work with the new hospital that's coming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to make sure that the jobs, we're represented on the jobs.
That's
In-
right.
We're part of this society, and like the kids say, I want my fair share.
Right. Right, right. And the hospital has a whole range of jobs as
Yes,
well.
yes.
You know,
The job, well, you know, they worked at Montgomery Hospital, certainly are qualified to move
Yeah.
over to the new hospital.
right. This is maybe something you don't know about, but it just popped in my head. Is part of the strategy working on the transportation, making sure there's a bus line that travels from the municipality to the new facility?
That we haven't broached yet, but I'm certain we will.
Right.
Right now, we're on the ground floor trying to build our way up.
Right. Tell me a little bit about the local organization, the kinds of things that you are working on, if you would. And
Well, you know, we're a small organization, maybe 100 members, but we're plugging along. Like most people, they have 50 different hats,
yes,
and this is a nonprofit
volunteer, right, right,
organization, and I think they do a great job. As you know, Mrs. Hadrick is quite involved after her retirement from the district. Kudos to her.
Yeah.
With the education portion.
Absolutely.
She and Mr. Hadrick do a very good job, very good. And then, of course, we just had our banquet with 500 people. Just
Yeah, it was like
Nice crowd.
It was a
Nice,
very nice crowd.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And that's like what the third year.
Which was a beautiful, beautiful affair.
Beautiful. And you
If-
honored a lot of students.
Yes. That's the importance of it.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
promoting education. If you notice, that's been our theme.
Yes. Yeah,
Education.
Education's so important.
Education is one of the keys. I wouldn't say it was the only key, but is one of the keys to a successful life.
Absolutely.
And successful doesn't mean rich.
Means taking care of yourself.
Taking care of yourself, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Norristown is joined by other branches within Montgomery County.
We are joined sometimes by the Ambler
Okay.
branch.
Okay.
Mrs. Werner is the
Yes.
president. And the Willow Grove branch, who just lost their
I
president,
know.
Dr. Clark. We've been in touch with these groups.
Good.
And the media branch, Dr. Flynn.
Good. In Delaware County. So
In
it's
Delaware
a nice
County.
regional presence.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Dr. Clark was really such a strong advocate for education.
Yes,
In his
absolutely.
professional career and also with
Yes.
NAACP.
He will be missed.
Yes. Yes, I had an occasion to work with him,
Okay.
and I really appreciated it. Yeah. Well, good. Tell me more about, I know some of the civics kinds of things you've done. You've hosted candidate forum. We have a primary coming up. Do you have something in the works for this spring, or
Well,
waiting for the fall?
We'll wait till the fall. There is an organization that is having a forum
Okay.
already. So we'll just lay back on this one. But we still are not giving up our presence of trying to get people to vote. Now, being a 501c3, we can't say you vote for this person or you vote for that person.
Right.
But do your civic duty. Do vote.
Right.
That's what we're an advocate for.
Right.
And our children were helpful, very helpful in elections past, getting voters
How's that?
out, going from door to door.
Yes, okay.
Just doing the things, the grunt work.
Right.
Some of the grunt work
Right.
that's necessary.
What are some of the basics that you want all citizens to know about what NAACP is concerned about here in Norristown? What are the, if there are 2 or 3 things you're really working towards as we wrap up?
Police relations is one.
Okay.
Okay. I would say health, along with education,
Yeah.
is the other. I'm very concerned about the health of our community.
So access to health services.
Yes.
And perhaps more reaching out to ensure that people,
are getting the care that they need.
Excellent.
And that they realize that they need care.
Right.
Even those of us who know we need care get caught up in the humdrum of life, the rat race, and we don't stop to think about our health. But without your health, what are you?
Yeah, you can't do the work.
Can't do the work, absolutely.
Right. Well, thank you very much. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back and talk a little bit more about the education work.
Yes.